Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Circle here in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziya Lukman. President Bola Tinubu has declared that Nigeria remains open to dialogue with Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso and Niger Republic despite recent coup in the four countries and their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African State ECOWAS. Tinubu made the declaration while addressing African leaders at the 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union (AU) in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The chairman of the ECOWAS emphasized that disagreements over the unconstitutional changes of government in the country should mean a permanent rupture of abiding rules of regional affinity and cooperation. President Tinubu also said his administration would engage in AU's commission in collaboration with member states to ensure that Africa's Central Bank takes off as scheduled in 2028. Worried by the security challenges in the country, the federal government and state governors are considering the adoption of a state police system to curb rising insecurity across the country. This was part of the deliberations between President Bola Tinubu and state governors. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris disclosed this while briefing the State House reporters at the Presidential Villa Abuja after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu and governors. Uyi Agbomofigbe brings us details.
The minister, who was joined at the briefing by Governors Caleb Mufwang of Plateau State, Uba Sani of Kaduna State, and Sheriff Uborewori of Delta State, explained that the process is still in its infancy and would only take shape after more deliberations between the stakeholders. According to him, the possibility of state police will further be discussed, adding that a lot of work needs to be done and that president and governors have agreed to work out the modalities.
A lot of issues were discussed about the security situation in the country, the apparent food issue that the media has also been reporting about, and some other measures that will help in improving the state of our nation. Now, the first point is that a committee, the governors and Mr. President have agreed to set up a committee to deepen the conversation that has happened at the just concluded meeting. Of course, you know that it is impossible to complete most of the issues that were raised at the meeting, so it's going to be a continuous one. Secondly, Mr. President and the governors have agreed that these kind of meetings will continue in the interest of our nation. It is important that all the time the federal government and the state governors, who are leaders at the subnational level, to continue to engage and interact collectively so that issues of national importance will continue to be addressed and we don't leave room for any speculation or for people who may seize the opportunity to say things that are not in the interest of our country. First, the National Security Advisor, the Director General of the State Services, the Inspector General of Police have been directed to coordinate with the state governors to look at the issue of those holding commodities. At this point that the nation requires food to be brought out to the people so that we can control prices and put food on the table of most Nigerians. Other commodity traders are busy holding these commodities so that Nigerians will suffer or they will make more money as a result.
There has been clamor for state police as Nigeria grapples with worsening insecurity challenges such as kidnapping and banditry. Uyi Agbomofwegbe, reporting for Global Television News.
The House of Representatives Special Committee on Crude Oil Theft have collaborated with the Nigerian Navy to initiate for effective policing of pipelines and other critical assets in the oil and gas industry, with the overall goal to tackle the menace of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism. This was as the committee met with the Chief of Naval Staff to strategize on collaborative measures in Abuja. The chairman of the committee, Al-Hassan Ado Dogwa, who led the committee on the visit to the headquarters of the Nigerian Navy, reiterated the commitment of the lawmakers to turn around the economy through the oil and gas sector. Dogwa, who is also the chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, emphasized the need to review the legal framework to enhance the effective performance of the security agencies in their operational activities on shore and in the headlands. The Minister of State for Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, says federal government is working to ensure enabling environment for youths to excel in their chosen career and to stem from the Japa syndrome. Olawande stated in Abuja that to enable environment, all Nigerians, especially youths, would not bother to travel abroad, and those that traveled would not want to come back. According to him, government is working towards providing an enabling environment where Nigerians will be engaged in one thing or the other. Olawande said more people would even have the opportunity to travel and gain knowledge and come back to the country and impact lives. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has expressed confidence, saying nobody can challenge his political camp in 2027 election. Wike stated this during a Thanksgiving service by Senator Barina Dambi in Kuroma Tai local government area of River State. Wike said that this is the only state where the leading party would win for president. The opposition party will take National Assembly in the election that was done the same time and the same minute or hour. The minister also pleaded for support for President Bola Tinubu's economic reform policy in the country, saying it will be easy to turn to the fortunes of the nation around in a short frame of time. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Minister of Works David Umahi, Speaker of the River State House of Assembly Martin Amole, among other dignitaries, attended the event. Indications have emerged that the organized labor is prepared to lower its demand for 1 million naira minimum wage for workers in the country, in line with the realities on the ground. The shift in position would likely be communicated to the federal government during the second meeting of the tripartite committee on minimum wage on Monday and Tuesday. The meeting is expected to enhance deliberations between all parties involved in negotiation to allow for announcement of a new minimum wage on or before April 1st, following the expiration of the current 30,000 minimum wage as provided by the law. The National Secretary of the New Nigerian People's Party, NPP, Olukoyosi Sunday Ogini, has petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, over alleged harassment of the party's executive by its former governorship candidate, Olufemi Ajadin Oguntoyombi, and the Ogun State Police. Ogini accused police in Ogun State of being used by its former governorship candidate to arrest and detain the party's executive in the state. Ogini also in a petition indicated that Oguntoyombi began harassing the executive members through the instrumentality of the police after his failed attempt to stop the party from withdrawing its petition against Governor Dapo Abiodun and the APC on the March 18 governorship election matter. The chairman, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Barrister Chiedu Ebi, has called for other measures to curb the cancer mortality in Africa, which was projected to reach about 1 million per year by 2030. The NDDC boss, who said earlier screening and detection are vital to saving lives, spoke at an event to mark the 2024 World Cancer Day held at the Lidok Cancer Care Center, Central Hospital, Abo of Delta State. Lamenting that the figure shows the rise trend in breast and cervical cancer amongst women and girl child, Ebia, who was represented by his special assistant, Dr. Godwin Edozie, said Africa alone, the incidence of various types of cancer is disheartening, pointing out that in 2020, more than 1 million new cancer cases were recorded in the continent, with about 700,000 deaths. The Ebonyi state government has confirmed 10 persons dead, while 15 other persons were infected following an outbreak of the Lassa fever in 7 local government areas of the state. Confirming the incident, the Disease Surveillance Notification Officer, State Ministry of Health, Orogun Samson, said that the cases occurred between January 4th and February 16th of 2024. He noted that within the 1-month period, 25 people were infected, including 2 healthcare workers with 10 deaths. Orogun said that last year, the state recorded 53 cases, while 36 people lost their lives, adding that the disease occurred across all ages. He maintained out of the 25 confirmed cases, 16 people were men, while 9 were women. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akid Sawyer, said student loan will be disbursed directly to the institution of applicants to avoid diversion. He also noted that individuals who obtain the loans will be made to repay their loans 2 years after immediately completion of the mandatory National Youth Service Corps. He also stated that education loan will also be funded through donations, gifts, endowments, and revenue acquired from any other source. Sawyer made this known during a meeting with the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Chris Meyaki, in Abuja. Similarly, students from no fewer than 155 institutions may be barred from processing direct entry admissions owing to the failed verification from their certificates awarding institute. The registrar of the direct entry examination is set to commence on February 28, 2024, while in February 2023, JAMB issued an advisory to guide candidates seeking to gain admissions through direct entry into the 2023-2024 academic section. According to JAMB, the advisory was basically to address the issue of candidates using unacceptable or forged A-level certificates qualifications to gain admission. The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has intercepted 15 trucks containing food items in Sokoto State as part of its efforts to prevent smuggling, which has been aggravated in the rise cost of commodities in the country. Abubakar Shafi, spokesperson of the NCS Sokoto Command, stated that vehicles were arrested along the Guadalape-Ilela road. Shafi said the interception was made due to the quantity of the farm produce the rockers was carrying. He said the trucks were presently in custody of the command and that investigations have commenced to ascertain the owners and destination of the food items. Shafi added that the operation became necessary with the prevailing inflation of food items in the country. Meanwhile, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted a large consignment of loud, synthetic strong strain of cannabis concealed in giant loudspeakers tucked in a consolidated cargo imported from New York, United States of America. The NDLEA disclosed this in a press statement by its Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi. The statement noted that when the giant wooden boxes dressed as second speakers seized by NDLEA officers at the NHACO imported shed of the Lagos airport were opened, the sound boxes were discovered to have been stuffed with 60 bags of expensive but highly sought-after psychoactive substances called loud, weighing about 33.5 kilograms. Pharmaceutical manufacturers and importers have been directed to stop supplying medical products to patients' medicines dealers in Niger Street and Sabon Gari market of Kano State. This follows the judgment of the Federal High Court, which ordered that medicines merchants to immediately vacate the Sabon Gari market and relocate to the Coordinated Wholesome Center in Dangwaro, Kano State. Delivering judgment in the case, Justice Simeon Amwebeda held that the suit was lacking in merit and the plaintiff have no locus standing in to challenge the relocation order by the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria. You're watching News Circle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the News Circle returns, NSEMA seeks transparent financial strategy, tax relief for private sectors. The news continues shortly with details of this and more stories right after this short break. Do stay with us. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the News Circle. Thank you for joining us. I am Fauziya Lukman. Moving on to the foreign scene, Thailand's convicted former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has arrived his mansion in the capital Bangkok after being released on parole. The billionaire was freed from the police hospital where he had been serving a one-year jail sentence for corruption and abuse of power. Thaksin, 74, was detained as soon as he returned from Thailand August last year for 15 years in self-imposed exile. He did not spend a single night in jail after complaining of the health problems. Thak's original 8-year prison term was commuted to 1 year by Thanksgiving, just days after his return from exile. Sadly, a 30-year-old man motivated by a family dispute killed 12 members of his family, including his father and brother, with a Kazakhstan weapon near the town of Faryab in Kerman province. The provincial Chief Justice Ibrahim Hamidi was quoted saying, "The man was killed during a shootout with security forces trying to capture him," and the agency added that mass shootings are rare in Iran, where people are only allowed to possess hunting rifles. A quick look at business, where the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, NACIMA, has tasked the Minister of Finance, Olawale Edun, on transparent financial strategy and tax relief for private sector development. The national president, NACIMA, Dele Oye, said this in a statement in Lagos State following the association's visit to the minister. He said the visit as a representative of the private sector was to engage constructively about the current state of the nation's economy. Oye noted that the collective objective was to foster an economic environment that balanced the need for public and private sector while ensuring sustainable growth and stability. He noted that the association's findings revealed that while the private sector diligently fulfilled its tax obligations, there was an expectation from reciprocity in the form of efficient public services and infrastructures. Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged Mele Kyari, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPCL Limited, to promptly account for and explain the whereabouts of the alleged missing $2.04 billion and 164 billion oil revenues. SERAP said the allegations are documented in the latest annual report recently published by its Auditor General of the Federation. Similarly, SERAP urged Kyari to name and shame those responsible for the disappearance of the oil money, surcharge them for the full amount involved, and hand over the appropriate anti-corruption agencies. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka, has expressed that the need to work with the Nigerians in Diaspora's Commission, NIDCOM, to boost diaspora's investment in the country. The minister made this known while speaking during a courtesy call by the chairman CEO NIDCOM, Dr. Abike Abiri Iriwa, in Abuja. The minister stressed that she will create a full department called Catalytic Investment Unit in the ministry to accommodate all diaspora-related matters. She also commended NIDCOM for partnering with the private sector-led Nigerian Diaspora Summit Initiative, NDSIA, to organize the Nigerians Diaspora Investment Summit, which has provided a platform for Nigerians who want to invest. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has reopened the runway at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, 11 months after closure for maintenance. Link 2 and 3 of the runway are now open to international traffic. thereby reducing burden on domestic runways on Saturdays. Kenya Airways landed on the runway and was welcomed with a water cannon salute, while the FANN had in March 2023 announced that international runways 18R and 36L at Murtala Mohammed Airport Road would be shut down for maintenance. FAN said the runways will be closed for 8 weeks for maintenance. The National Insurance Commission (NICON) has assured the partnership and the National Orientation Agency (NOA) and the Federal Ministry of Youth Development to deepen insurance awareness and enforcement in the country. To this end, the Commissioner for Insurance, Chief Executive Officer (CEO) of NICOM, Olorundare Sunday, recently paid a courtesy visit to the Director General of NOA, Lanre Issa Onilu, to explore ways of collaboration so that Nigerians get the right orientation about insurance, product, and services. The DGNOA enjoined NICOM to leverage on its structure, reach, platforms, as well as understanding of the locality where the presence, while promising to work closely with NICOM in this regard. Lastly, moving on to sport, over 1,000 athletes from 100 schools will be competing in a 5-day athletics event tagged Marking of Champions, MTN Chap Season 2 in various categories at the main bowl of the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, Delta State. The events are 100, 200, 400 meters high jump, long jump and relays for under 14 and 17 boys and girls. At a news conference in Asaba, the president of Athletes Federation of Nigeria, Tonobuk Okowa, described the event as a key to the forthcoming African Games and Olympics, saying it will be a build-up for the continental and global events. While advising athletes to be careful not to sustain injuries, he envisaged more surprises just as organizers says adequate arrangements have been made for a smooth takeoff of the fiesta. That's it on News Circle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman. Thank you for watching.